G'day everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is a very interesting video it's going to be because I set this up to make a video replying to a comment that was posted on a recent video and also about a comment on a video from a while ago, both relating to the same subject. And I stuck in an LM7805 on a heatsink and set up this just for demonstration purposes because I needed one of these going. And as soon as I went past 40 milliamps on the output, the thing started shutting down. Now, don't forget, I built this battery box and I've had two regulators now that just went out in this without loading issues or anything like that. And I replaced them and it's been working, but after I loaded down that 7805, which I'll show you in a minute what it's doing, it's very odd. It's not just load, it's input voltage that makes it turn on and off too. Anyway, let's just look at this first. I thought let's go look at the regulators in the battery box, and before you ask, no, the batteries aren't flat. The LED doesn't even go like a little bit dim when you put a huge load on it. They're brand new batteries. Now, on the 5 volt setting, right? If I put 1.5 amps and turn it on, as you can see, we just draw 1.5 amps. Alright, I'll turn that off. I'll put 9 volts on. Wait, what? Alright, let's drop the amperage down. 1 amp. Can't do 1 amp. 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6. You've got to be kidding me. 0.5, it can't do half an amp. 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. 9 volts has come back. 0.2. 0.3, 0.4, it's gone. Dead set, 40 milliamps. Sorry, 400 milliamps. Alright, let's go see what -5 is doing. Oh, shit. Reverse voltage protection. I should have realised. Just reset. Okay. Now, as you can see, we've got 5 volts, so I will set for 1.5 amps again. Sorry, it's hard to get the phone to focus. That's 1.5 amps. Let's turn it on. And yeah, it's doing it. Alright, let's have a look at -9 volts. It's working, right? So the +9 volt regulator has got the exact same problem in here as this over here, which I'll now show you what's going on over here. So, all right, I've got my load. Negative to negative, positive to positive, of course. Right, you can see there's 16 volts here, right? There's no shortage of voltage coming in, and that's a 4700 mic cap. That's plenty for an amp and a half. And if we look here, yeah, it's 5 volts. Okay, let's come over here. Focus. Okay. Let's turn on 1.5 amps. Again, it's gone. Completely gone. Not even half an amp. 0.4, 0.3. 0.3 comes back on. 0.4, it's still on. Let's go to 0.41. 0.42. It's gone. why on earth are these regulators all shutting down around 400 milliamps? I'll leave that at 300 milliamps for a sec because I just want to show you something. So obviously that's loaded at 300 milliamps and it's not the input voltage. It's still there, right? This is a 5 volt regulator running off 16 volts. Okay, so this is where it gets even weirder. Let's leave that on ground. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong thing. Okay, so that's the input, right? It's 15.6 right now, yeah? Let's look at the output. I'm going to do something, and I need to turn my voltage down a little bit first. My apologies. Alright. So, let's see what we've got coming in. Okay, we've only got 7 volts now. I've got this transformer on a variac, if you're wondering how I'm doing this, which is important for what I'm going to do in this video, but we've got to solve this problem first. So, let's just turn the variac back up. Oh, what? It's not doing it now. Okay, before, when I would turn the input voltage up to a certain point, this regulator would turn off as well. Yes, I blew a tantalum capacitor up. In my finger. There it is. Anyway, so this is not good because it means that all those regulators I bought are duds. And I've got them in my battery box. Luckily I don't have too many of them. I've only got 2 of each. So all my other regulators are all board pulls and legit bought ones. There's only 2 of each, like 2 7905s, 2 7805s, 2 7910s or something like that. You know what I mean? There's not many. But yeah, I just grabbed the 7805 to set it up and this happened. And I was like, well, what on earth? I've got to get this on camera. So, guys, do not buy the LM78 series and 79 series voltage regulators from people on AliExpress. They're all really weird devices. Like, you guys have seen the oscillation problems I had with my battery box. We've had them just straight up die. And now the ones that are working have got this 400 milliamp limit. 400? Like, it's a 1.5 amp part. What on earth? Alright, well, that's enough on that. I'm going to... I'll tell you what I think we should do. Or what I should do. But I'll do it on camera for everyone. I think I'm going to get a ZIF socket. Solder some wires on it. And I'm going to just get all the regulators and just put them in and out. Load them. Yeah, I'm going to build some sort of test jig to load them and test them and just throw them all out, the ones that aren't working, because that's just insane. But yeah, like even my battery box is doing the same thing on the plus 9 volt regulator. It just seems random. Like some of them are okay, some of them are not okay. I mean, there is one that I did end up buying a lot of, and that was these, the 7905s, because I'm always needing a minus 5 volt rail, and that, I don't know, I can't remember how much I paid for them, but they were cheap, so I just bought the whole bag instead of buying singles, you know, and they do look legit, but there is something terribly wrong. I don't know what to make of this. It's quite odd, so beware. Anyway, I'll get that off the heatsink and I'll get a normal one that's not recently bought off AliExpress and put that on the heatsink. And then we'll get into the video. What this video is about, I did a video a while back on a digital multimeter, a bench multimeter that I converted to battery. And someone left in the comments, 8 volts to the linear regulator is way overkill, buddy. Like, what a cocky prick, come on. Like, seriously, if you're watching, I really don't care. Go unsubscribe from my channel and go screw yourself, mate. Like, what a wanker, eh? No, 8 volts is not overkill for a 5 volt regulator. In fact, as someone pointed out in my last video, if you study the data sheet, if you only give a 1.5 volts, or you need 2 volts at least, it doesn't maintain its best amount of ripple rejection. And I proved that in the multimeter video, that I put a boost converter into a linear regulator and we measured the noise on the output, and it was quieter with 8 volts going in than 7 volts going in. So no, buddy, it's not way overkill, buddy. Wanker. Yeah, so I thought, because the person in my recently uploaded video, who is not a wanker, because he left a comment saying, would you do a video showing basically what I'm talking about? And I thought, hey, look, I was already annoyed about this person leaving this stupid comment in my multimeter video, and now somebody else has left a comment saying, can you show this, because a lot of people don't realize this. I thought, okay, I've got to do a video on this. So hence the regulator on the heatsink, and then I discovered that I've got all these dodgy regulators, so I'll get rid of this, put a good one on there. I might stick one of these on here actually. Why not? I mean, I've got to test all my regulators, including these ones. It's bloody annoying. I can't be too mad. I did buy them off AliExpress, you know. Yeah. Oh, my soldering iron's not turned on. I'll tell you what, I'll get this done off camera, and I'll come back and see if we can get 1.5 amps out of this. There might not be anything wrong with this batch, you know. It could just be these other ones I've got. I don't know. But to tell you the truth, they all look exactly the same. So I'd say that these in a bag of 40 is the same as what I got with a kit of 2 of each or whatever, you know. So I'd say they're the same part. But anyway, all good. I'll get this off the heatsink, put that one on there, and we'll take a look at this voltage headroom versus ripple rejection. This is just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. This one puts out 5.743 volts. What the... I mean, seriously. What is going on here? Oh. I just put this one on the heatsink and it did absolutely nothing at all. Just didn't work. So I grabbed another one and just hooked it up off the heatsink, and it puts out 5.7 volts. I'm just like, what the hell? These are negative regulators, if you're wondering why I'm hooking it up like this. What the hell? Now that one's working, it's doing the same thing. I've never seen one of these regulators put out an extra 0.6 of a volt. What the... Sorry, it's making me swear. What on earth is going on? I mean, what? I used these in the battery box for the -5 volt rail, and it's -5. It's not -5.6. Let me go get an output capacitor. I blew my last one up. I'll put it on back to front. Trying to grab a newer one than the one I had here before, because its legs were really oxidized. That's ground. Oh, you're going to be kidding me. It was oscillating. Okay, so we might have working regulators. Let's get this capacitor on here. Stop it from oscillating. I found a lot of the time these negative regulators have got problems with oscillating, where the positive ones are stable under like almost any condition. The negative ones just aren't. Alright, let's see if we can load this. Obviously it's now backwards. It's a minus 5 volt regulator, but that's all good. Positive on here, negative on here. Alright, I'm going to go turn 1 amp on. Hey, I've got 1 amp. Sorry, 1.5 amps. Yeah, it's actually working. Would you look at that? Alright. Now that that's up and running, should probably turn that down a bit. That's quite a bit. I can do the video that I wanted to do. I will come back to these regulators later on and work out what's going on, but I just can't believe that. You know what? Oh, these are totally different, the ones in this bag. Oh, that's good. So these are real. Yeah, they look really different. These do look real and these do look fake. The package is smaller, it's got a blacker colour, the laser etching's different, the tab's different. It's just, they look like genuine Morocco ST parts. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll put that off to the side because I want to do some investigation on that. That's really interesting. So, what I've done is I've set up a transformer here and a regulator, running the transformer off a variac. So what I can do is I can look at my input voltage, right? And I can just reach my arm down here and I can dial the variac down. As you can see, the input voltage is going down. All right. So we want 8 volts. Well, we're going to start at 7. So that gives the 2 volts of headroom that the 5 volt regulator needs. So let's take a look at the output of the regulator, shall we? I'm not referenced earth on anything, am I? No, just in case. I don't think it is. No, it's my load bank. It's not referenced. Oh well. Yeah, I'm going to need to look at the output of the regulator. I'm not thinking. Sorry, guys. Alright, so as you can see, 7 volts going in. Alright, I'm going to turn my load up to 1 amp. Don't even need that much, let's turn it down. That's good. Alright. So let me just turn my input voltage up just ever so slightly. That's where we want to be. Alright. Now we have what we want. So as you can see, we've got 1.02 millivolts, or 995 microvolts, roughly, it's fluctuating, RMS, and 10, 11, 12 volts peak to peak. Now that's at 1 amp, or sorry, 800 milliamps, right? Now I'm not going to touch that. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the variac. Look at the ripple now. It's 700 microvolts. it's dropped by 200 microvolts. So let me just check the temperature of this. Alright, that's fine. I'll tell you what, we'll go very quickly. Oh, you know what, I turned my voltage down, it's all good. I'm not running 16 volts on the input. Alright, 1.5 amps. 7 volts going in, right? Actually, that's a little bit over 7. I'll turn it down. 7 volts going in. And look at that. 160 millivolts of whatever you want to call it. Actually, we need more than 7 volts at 1.5 amps. Hold on. We're not regulating. That's at 7.5 volts with 1.5 amps on the regulator. 7.7, that's 8 volts. I got up to 8.5. 9 volts. 9.5 volts. So actually, all the way up to 9 volts, it keeps getting better for performance. Let me just turn this down because 1.5 amps on a 7805 is quite a bit with more voltage going in, input. So, as we saw, turning up the input voltage allows the regulator to reject ripple better. And it makes sense if you think about it. When you're building a linear power supply or just hooking up a transformer to a rectifier and a cap, and you put a little voltage regulator on the output of this, if you try and turn that voltage regulator all the way up to roughly the voltage that's coming out the bridge, when you load it and everything sags, you'll be riding on the ripple. Actually, let me just move this out the way, and I'll get a piece of paper and I'll draw this out, and it will make a lot more sense. Right. Let's just pretend, right, we're going to be looking at a wave, okay? How can I explain this? Let's make a sort of a graph, and let's say each one of these things is, say, a volt, right? And right up the top here, we've got this ripple. Now, if we set our linear regulator to, say, 6 volts, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Down here at 6 volts, we're flat. But as we come closer up to where these ripples riding on top of the waveform, we're going to be on the ripple. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. But basically, by giving yourself headroom, you're away from that ripple, and your regulator, whatever it is, can reject that ripple better. Now, I didn't know that it actually continued all the way up to 9 volts, but I mean, it makes sense. Usually you want about 3 or 4 volts headroom minimum on a linear regulator circuit to get good ripple rejection from transformer or whatever you're using. So it stands to reason. I'm just trying to think if there's something else I can show to further explain it. I think what I showed there, increasing the voltage with a load on it, demonstrated pretty well. I mean, you guys could all see the ripple going down as I turned the input voltage up, right? So I think that proves it quite nicely. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and make a little video and show that, so that people who are designing circuits with linear regulators don't just consider the dropout voltage, but they consider the voltage headroom that's required for good ripple rejection, because it's something a lot of people apparently don't think about. And yeah, honestly, it's quite important for your circuit. I mean, some circuits don't care if they've got 300 or 400 millivolts of ripple. Other circuits care if they've got a couple hundred microvolts of ripple. It depends on what your circuit is. But certainly it's something that's important to know. So, yes. Alright, well, I think what I'm going to do now is do some investigation on these. We'll have a look on camera. I'll set the camera up in the tripod, go over to a power supply, and I'll just get a whole bunch of these and we'll start looking at what they do. You know, I thought those ones in the bag were different, but no, they're all the same. I just had a closer look, so I've got more. I'm going to get them all. Alright, well, I rounded all the suspect ones up, and this is all of them. There's 7809s, 7909s, there's everything. There's 9 volt regulators, 10 volt regulators, 5 volt regulators, 12 volt regulators. Is there a 15? I think there is. Yeah, there's 15 positive and negative versions. So this is what I've got left, minus the ones that have already been thrown out because they didn't work or whatever. Oh, those two I know work. I was just using them. So these are the ones that I want to test. Looks like I've already used a couple of them. Actually. No, those. Oh, I don't know now. I'll just, That wasn't mounted to the heatsink. That was the one that I just used that worked. All of those are going to have to get tested. Alright, I'm going to make up 2 test jigs, because there's going to be 78 series and 79 series. So if I put all the 79s in one pile and all the 78s in another pile, and I just make up 2 test jigs, I think you'll see where I'm going with this. We can just pop them in and out and go yep, no, just pop it in, turn the load on, pop it out, you know what I mean? Alright, so these ones at the top are 78 series and the ones at the bottom are 79 series. So now I've just got to make up a couple of test jigs and hook that up to a power supply and a load bank, and we can see what the behaviour is on them. I'm just basically going to get a ZIF socket, solder 100 microcap on the input, 100 microcap on the output, connect the input to a power supply and the output to my load bank, and we're just going to have a look and see what they do, really. Nothing more, nothing less. However, it is 3 o'clock in the morning now, so I'm not doing it tonight. I'm going to bed now. I will pick back up on this in the morning. Alright, well, I was going to build like a little test socket, but I just decided to do it like this. So I got all the 78 ones first. Shit. I did not mean to put a load on that. I've got to do some work on the heatsink before using this power supply. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is a 7815. Oh man, I probably just blew that. I don't know if you saw that on camera. I touched ground to the output of it. Alright, well, it's regulating at 15 volts. Let's see if we get 1.5 amps out of it. No. See, it's doing the same bloody shit. What? Reverse voltage? What? How is that reverse voltage? That is literally impossible. I mean, you guys can see how this is hooked up. Negative going straight in negative and positives going through the regulator. And I'm getting a reverse voltage warning. What? What on earth is wrong with these things? It's obviously not reverse voltage. I mean, we can see the 15 volts. Let's turn the current down to 1/2 amp and turn it back on and start winding it up. Alright, we've got 1/2 amp. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, 10, and it went to reverse voltage protection. I can't get my head around that. Maybe it's oscillating because I haven't got a cap on it. Let me go get a cap. Alright, I've just bodged a 47 mic tant in there. No. Will not do 1.5 amp. We're not getting reverse voltage now, so that was just oscillating. No. Will not do it. Won't even do 1 amp. I really don't know what to make of this. I mean, I realise, ouch. Oh, there could be a reason why that was shutting down. But I mean, you saw it in the beginning. It wasn't working. Okay, I didn't have a cap on it in the beginning. That is pretty hot. I think this one was working and it was just because I didn't have a cap on it. And by the time I put a cap on it, it's way too hot and it's shutting down. So, I'm not too sus on that one. Alright, here's a 7809. I'm going to go get a separate set of leads so that I can clip a capacitor onto it before I turn the light on. Wait, what? Oh, sorry, it's a 7805. I turned it on and I saw 5 volts on the screen and I thought, what? How can a 9 volt regulator be regulating a perfect 5 volts? Like, come on. What was I going to do? Oh, yes. Mini clips. Mini clips and a cap. Not an ideal way to connect the capacitor, obviously. Just doing it to get the test done. I'll turn this down quite some. Alright, that's set at 1.5 amps. No. Not a hope. Maybe this is because of a lack of capacitance. But then what's the excuse for the battery box? It's full of capacitance and running off a battery. Yeah, you know something, I've never had a problem using these regulators in my life, and I've used literally hundreds of them, and it wasn't until I bought this back that I've had this problem. So I'm going to say that no, these are duds. This is ridiculous. I mean, look, it couldn't even do 400 milliamp with a capacitor on it. That's just insane. I'm going to test the rest of these in my own private time, but I think from what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a bit of a similarity. I don't want to call it 100% until I've built up a little board and put some stout capacitance on it, you know, but I'll do that and I'll share the results in a future video. But till then, I'm going to say that the AliExpress specials are duds and to stay away from them. I mean, I can't even use the battery box, for goodness sake. I'll give you guys another look at that. Oh no, I just showed you that, didn't I? Sorry, my apologies. It's quite late and I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed now. I was going to do this the next day, but I just decided to do it tonight. It's still the same night. Oh well. Well, I'll see you all in a future video. Don't quite know what to make of this. Half of it could be my fault for not having enough capacitance on it and just wiring going everywhere to test it. But like I said, I've used heaps of these before and I've never had this sort of trouble. So leave it in the comment section if you've got any ideas. But I mean, I will work it out. I am going to just put them on some board and test them properly with proper values and all that sort of thing. But like I said, I mean, the fact that this doesn't work with all the tantalums around it and batteries powering it, the other 3 rails in there work, only one doesn't. So something's up, in my opinion. Alright, I'll see you all soon.